The Change Advisory Board, or CAB, meeting, it's not going anywhere. For high-risk, high-impact changes, ones that touch production, the ones that could really take something down, a review process with people matters. That's not going away. But here's the problem. Most CAB agendas are full of changes that didn't need to be in that meeting. Password resets, standard software updates, routine maintenance, changes that have been done 100 times and have a near zero failure rate. So waiting a week to get human sign-off, that's not governance, that's a bottleneck. And it's slowing down those low-risk changes and also the high-risk ones. They're all waiting in the same queue. So today I'm going to show you how to fix some of that process using Service Desk. We can automate the approvals that don't need a meeting so that the CAB can really focus on the ones that do and do that in a more efficient way. So let's talk about the first thing that we can do, which is to classify your change types so that the system knows which ones need those people reviews in the CAB meeting and which ones don't. So if we go to our change catalog in Service Desk, you can see our defined change types: standard, normal, emergency. Standard changes are pre-approved, they've been risk assessed, and from that point on, they go through automatically. Normal changes, which we can see here, they go through the review workflow, and emergency changes have an expedited path. So the key decision is what qualifies as standard, those ones that are risk assessed. That's a conversation with your change manager, but you can start narrow, a short list of proven, repeatable changes with documented procedures and a track record of zero incidents. You can always expand that list as the trust builds. For normal changes that do need review, our second quick win is making that approval process itself as fast as possible. So that looks like making the CAB meeting the exception and not the weekly bottleneck. So I've opened up here an approval workflow for a normal change. So when the change request is submitted, the right approvers are notified automatically. We can see that in our process here. They can review and approve from their own inbox or from within Service Desk. So we can see here in the workflow, our first approval is a peer approval that can be done within Service Desk. You can still have a CAB meeting for when there are changes that warrant one, but those meetings get shorter and more focused when the routine stuff is already handled. So you can see our second approval is actually a CAB approval. And then we move on to another type of approval that actually needs two people to sign off. But when everybody signs off, the change then advances to implementation and no one has to check in, chase, or nudge. It's all clearly marked here in this process and is easily trackable. Our third quick win is visibility, and specifically knowing what changes are already scheduled before you go ahead and schedule another one. The change calendar gives you a view of everything that is in flight. So before you're approving a new change for a Friday night, don't get me started on that, you can see whether there are two other already scheduled in the same window. That's the kind of collision that doesn't show up until something goes wrong, and a change calendar is a way of preventing it. It also gives you something concrete to bring to a CAB meeting instead of a spreadsheet. A live view of what's planned, what's pending approval, and what's already been implemented. A reminder that the goal isn't fewer approvals. That goes against everything we feel about change management. But the goal is smarter approvals. So pre-approving standard changes that have earned it, automating the workflow for normal changes so that reviews happen fast without chasing, and giving the CAB a calendar that tells them what actually needs their attention and limiting those items to the things that really might impact. That's a change management process that protects the business while not slowing down the team. So if you want to see where you fall in your change management practice, the ITSM maturity assessment is a great place to start to understand where you're at and where you want to get to. And if you want to walk through any of what we looked at today looks like in your own environment and your own processes, just book a demo with us.